5 minutes to air. Mr. Lawrence, Mr. Haywood, Miss Applewhite, Miss Sherwood, this is your 5-minute call. Miss Harlow, places for audience warm-up, please. We're at 5 minutes to air.
Welcome to a live broadcast of WBFR Playhouse of the Air. Thank you for breaking the weather and coming this Christmas Eve. And you will be glad you did when you hear the story we have for you tonight. It's a Wonderful Life. Very good, thank you. Remember, this evening's program is being broadcast live from coast to coast. And our listeners are counting on your reactions as part of their listening pleasure. So feel free to laugh, applaud, swoon, or cry, just as loudly as the spirit moves. I'm getting the signal from our stage manager that we will be going live in just less than 3 minutes, which allows me just enough time to introduce you to the fine acting ensemble who will be performing this evening's entertainment. You know him from Chick Carter, Boy Detective, and Cowpoke Romance, playing George Bailey, the hero of tonight's story, Mr. Jake Lawrence. Having just returned from Los Angeles, completed filming Dottie Goes Bananas, a Technicolor spectacle, and as his leading lady, Mary Hatch, we bring you Miss Ohio 1943, Miss Sally Applewhite. WBFR Playhouse of the Air listeners have heard our next little lady in roles ranging from Mother Cabrini to Salome, and playing small-town siren Violet Beck and others in this evening's story, I give you Miss Lena Sherwood. Soon to be co-starring with Margaret Dumont in Paramount Pictures' new comedy The Hick Chick, and playing Clarence the Angel and others in this evening's show, here's Mr. Harry Jasbo Haywood.
And finally, host of Famous Are Fabulous, and here with you every week on Playhouse of the Air, I'm Freddie Fillmore.
We are live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
WBFR in New York City.
This is WBFR Playhouse of the Air. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, young and old and new. And greetings from WBFR Studio A, right here in Manhattan, New York, US of A. I'm your host, Helen Harlow, and it is my pleasure to bring you your favorite stories this and every week on the WBFR Playhouse of the Air. Tonight we bring you a real good, feel-good heartwarmer, perfect for this or any Christmas Eve. It's a Wonderful Life. We begin our story in the little town of Bedford Falls, New York, US of A, where a number of people in the town are praying for their dear friend, a typical American dreamer named George Bailey.
God, please look over my husband,
George is a good boy. You know that. My son has always gone out of his way to give others a hand. Now it's him who needs the help.
Help! My big brother George! He's done so much for all of us, more for me than I can even remember.
I remember all the times you'd stay late after work and no one else could stand. The world needs more like this George Bailey.
George Bailey never thinks about himself. I wouldn't have a roof over my head if it
If it
wasn't
wasn't for him, I would have given up long ago. All I think about is myself. I must have taken the last cent he
He
had.
had no sense of business, that George Bailey. Just like his father, none of the Baileys were businessmen. His own fault if he wasn't prepared for times like these.
At times like these, I can't think, but it's all my fault. Help him, Father. It's me who's putting him through all this.
Something's the matter with Daddy.
Should we pray for him, Mummy?
Yes, Suzu, pray. Pray very hard.
The voices carry heavenward, the superintendent of angels summons Clarence, an apprentice angel.
You sent for me, ma'am?
Yes, Clarence. A man down on Earth needs our help.
Splendid. Is he sick?
No, worse. He's discouraged. At exactly 10:45 p.m. tonight, Earth time, that man will be thinking seriously of throwing away God's greatest gift.
Oh dear. His life? Then I've only an hour to prepare. What are they wearing down there now?
You will spend the hour getting acquainted with George Bailey.
Ma'am, should I accomplish this mission, might I perhaps win my wings? I've been waiting over 200 years now, and people are beginning to talk.
What's that book you've got there?
The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, ma'am. I was reading it when you sent for me.
Oh, fine book. Excellent. Well, you do your job with George Bailey, and we'll see about your wings.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, if you're going to help George, you'll want to know a little something about him. Look, see the town?
Why, yes. A group of young boys sledding down a snow-covered hill and onto the ice.
Come on, George!
This is amazing.
Yippee! Come on!
Who's that?
Oh,
That's
thanks.
your problem, George Bailey.
A
Bet you could.
boy?
That's him when he was 12, back in 1919. Something happens here you'll have to remember later on.
And here comes the scare baby, my kid brother, Harry Bailey! I'm not scared. Come on, Harry. Attaboy, Harry. Yippee! Woo! Harry! Help! Help! Help!
Oh dear! Harry's fallen through the ice.
No. I'm coming, Harry! Make a chain, gang! That chain!
So, his brother fell through the ice, but George saved him, right?
Yes, Clarence. And ever since George has had a bad ear, all that icy water, you understand.
Bad ear. Yes, ma'am.
The other event came a few months later. George took an after-school job at Old Man Gower's drugstore.
It's me, Mr. Gower, George Bailey.
You're late.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Georgie. Hello, Mary.
Hello, Violet.
2 cents worth of shoelaces, Violet?
Mary was here first.
I'm still thinking.
Shoelaces?
Please, Georgie. I like him.
You like every boy, Violet.
Well, what's wrong with that?
Here you are.
Bye, Georgie. See you later, Mary.
Made up your mind yet, Mary?
I'll take chocolate.
With coconuts?
I don't like coconuts.
Don't like coconuts? Say brainless. Don't you know where coconuts come from? Look at here. The Fiji Islands, Tahiti, the Coral Sea.
What's that you got there? New magazine? I've never saw it before.
Of course you haven't. Only us explorers can get it. I've been nominated for membership in the National Geographic Society. Let me get your ice cream.
Is this the ear you came here on? George Bailey, I'll love you till the day I die.
I'm gonna go out exploring someday. Just watch. I'm gonna have a couple of harems and maybe 3 or 4 wives. Wait and see.
George!
Yes,
George!
sir?
You're not paid to be a canary.
Yes, sir.
Goodbye, George.
Bye, Mary.
What was that piece of paper George just picked up?
It's a telegram for Mr. Gower. He found out this morning that his son died of influenza.
Oh, awful.
Yes, and he spent the afternoon drowning his grief in whiskey.
Mr. Gower, do you want something? Anything?
No.
Is there anything I can do back here?
No.
I'll get them, sir. Well, what's this bottle, Mr. Gower?
Never mind that. Take those capsules over to Mrs. Blaine's.
Yes, sir. They have diphtheria, haven't they, sir? Is it a charge, sir?
Yes.
George.
Mr. Gower, I think that...
Get going.
Yes, sir. Mr. Gower?
What is it?
Mr. Gower, the bottle you used, you put something wrong in those capsules.
Who do you think you're talking to?
You're hurting my sore ear.
Do you hear what I said? Get out of here.
Mr. Gower, you don't know what you're doing. You put something wrong in those capsules. I know you're unhappy. You got the telegram and you're upset. It wasn't your fault, Mr. Gower. But Mr. Gower, look. This bottle, you used this bottle for the capsules. It's poison.
Poison?
Please don't hit my poor sore ear again.
Poison, oh, George.
All I wanted was to make sure, Mr. Gower. I won't tell anyone. Now, I know what you're feeling. I won't ever tell a soul. Hope to die I won't.
Oh, George. Did he ever tell anyone about those pills?
Not a soul.
Did he ever marry the girl? Did he ever go exploring?
We'll get there soon enough, Clarence. When George Bailey grew up, he wanted to go to college. But there wasn't the money, so he worked 4 years in the Building and Loan Association.
Building and Loan Association.
George's father was in the building and loan business, along with George's Uncle Billy.
George, what's the combination to the safe?
We wrote it down so you wouldn't forget it.
That's right. Where?
Your wallet, Uncle Billy.
Thanks.
Lovable fellow, just forgetful is all.
Who's that?
That's Henry F. Potter, the richest and meanest man in all the county.
Peter, Potter's here.
Mr. Bailey. Mr. Bailey. Mr. Bailey. There's nothing quite as loathsome in the family business. Now, Peter, you know what I'm here for. I'm on a very tight schedule, failing to evict at 3.
Okay then, Mr. Potter. Here's the thing. I just need a little more time. Just 30 short days. I'll dig up that 5,000 somehow.
Have you put any real pressure on those people of yours to pay off their mortgages?
Times are hard, Mr. Potter, and a lot of people are out of work.
Then we're close.
I can't do that. These families have children.
They're not my children.
But they're somebody's children, Mr. Potter.
Are you running a business or a charity ward here?
Well, all right.
Not
but-
with my money.
Mr. Potter, what makes you such a hard-skulled character? You've no family, no children. You can't begin to spend all the money you've got.
So I suppose I should give it to miserable failures like you and that idiot brother of yours to spend it for me?
He's not a failure. You can't say that about my father.
George.
You're not. You're the biggest man in town.
All right, son, thanks. I'll talk to you tonight.
Don't let him say that stuff about you, Pop.
Tonight.
What kind of business are you running here? Good God, man.
George worked for his father, saving enough to see him through the university. That summer, though, he was going to Europe. George got a job on a cattle boat and was ready to do traveling before college. Old man Gower surprised him with the gift of a big, great suitcase. On his way home from the store, he ran to his friends Ernie, the cab driver, and Bert, the cop.
Hi, Ernie. Hey, George. Hi, Bert.
Hey, George, what's the suitcase for?
Oh, I'm a rich tourist today. How about driving me home in style? Sure, Your Highness. And how about much ma'am? For the carriage train, I'll put some on your head.
Good afternoon, Mr. Bailey. Looks like you're ready to get out of here.
Hello, Violet. Hey, you look good. There's some dress you got on there.
Oh, this old thing. Why, I only wear it when I don't care how I look. See you later.
How would you like? Yes. Want to come along, Bert? We'll show you the town.
No thanks. Think I'll go home and see what the wife's doing.
Ah, family man.
George saved up money to go away to college. His bags were packed and he was all set to go.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. It's hard to realize it's the last night in the Bailey boarding house.
We're sure gonna miss you, George.
I'm gonna miss you too, Pop. Hey, what's the matter? You look tired.
Oh, I had another tussle with old Henry Potter today.
No.
I thought when we put him on the board of directors, he'd ease up on us.
I wonder what's eating that old money-grubbing buzzard anyway.
Oh, he's a sick man. Frustrated and sick. Sick in his mind, sick in his soul. If he has one. Hates everybody that has anything he can't have. Hates us mostly, I guess.
Hey, George, can I borrow your tuxedo studs? Yeah, help yourself, Harry. Well, where are they? In your suitcase? I'm not taking a tuxedo on a cattle boat, you know. Say, where'd you get that fine piece of luggage anyway? Mr. Gower, a going away present. And one of these days you're going to see that bag all covered with travel labels. Italy, Baghdad. Hey, why don't you come with us to the dance tonight? What, be bored to death? Well, you couldn't want better death. Lots of pretty girls. Hey, I've got to hurry.
I wish we could send Harry to college with you, George.
Oh, we have that all figured out. You see, Harry will take my job at the building and loan, work there 4 years, then he'll go.
But he's pretty young for that job.
Oh, no younger than I was.
But you were born older, George. I suppose you decided what you're going to do when you get out of college.
Oh, well, you know, what I've always talked about. Building things. Design new buildings, plan modern cities.
Still after that first million before you're 30?
No, I'll settle for half that in cash.
Of course. It's just a hope. But you wouldn't want to consider coming back to the building alone, would you?
Oh.
I know it's early to talk about it.
I couldn't face being cooped up for the rest of my life in that shabby little office. Oh, I'm sorry, Pop. I didn't mean that remark. It's just this business of nickels and dimes and spending all your life trying to figure out how to save 3 cents on a length of pipe. Now, I'd go crazy. I want to do something big and something important.
You know, George, I feel we are doing something important. Satisfying a fundamental urge. It's not too much for a man to want his own roof and walls and fireplace, and we're helping him get those things in our shabby little office.
I know, Dad. I wish I felt... But I've been hoarding pennies like a miser in order to... Well, most of my friends, they've already finished college. I just feel like if I don't get away, I bust.
Yes, you're right, boy. This town's no place to live if you aren't willing to call the Potter. You get yourself an education and get out of here.
I'm glad you see what I'm talking about. Say, I think I'm gonna go down on Old Main Street. Last night on the town and all.
Have a good time, son.
Who's that?
Oh, that's Violet Big.
The little girl from the candy counter.
That's right.
Hello, Georgie Porgy.
Hello, Vi.
What gives?
Nothing.
Where are you going?
No, probably end up in the library.
Georgie, don't you ever get tired of just reading about things?
Yes. What are you doing tonight?
Not a thing.
Are you game, Vi? What do you say we make a night of it?
Oh, I'd love it, Georgie. What'll we do?
Well, let's go out in the fields and take off our shoes and walk in the grass.
Huh?
Then we can go up to Stewart Lake. It's beautiful up there in the moonlight, and we can swim. And then we can climb Mount Bedford and smell the pines and watch the sunrise against the peaks, and we'll stay up there the whole night. And everybody will be talking, and there'll be a terrific scandal.
George, have you gone crazy? Walk in the grass in my bare feet? Why, it's 10 miles up to Mount Bedford. You think just because you... Oh...
Well, okay, just forget about the whole thing then.
Forget about what, George?
Oh, nothing, Sam.
You remember Mary, don't you?
Hi, George.
Hi, Mary.
Say, you wouldn't mind walking Mary home, would you, George?
Oh, of course not. Is that okay with you, Mary?
Fine by me.
Great. Thanks. So, George walked Mary home. Is that important?
I'd say it is. Because even though Mary lived only 4 blocks away, it took them 2 hours to get there.
Buffalo gals, won't you come out tonight? Won't you come out tonight? Won't you come out tonight? Buffalo gals, won't you come out tonight? prettiest girl in town?
Well, why don't you say it?
I don't know. Maybe I will. Say, how old are you anyway?
18.
18?
Too young or too old?
Oh, no. Just right. Your age fits you. Hey, look where we are.
Oh, the old Granville house.
Yeah, I gotta throw a rock.
Oh, no, don't. I love that old house.
Well, no, you don't know about old deserted houses. You make a wish, then you throw a rock.
But, George, I love that old house. I wish I lived there.
There? I wouldn't want to live in there if I was a ghost. Now, here, watch this. Ah, pretty good shot, huh? How about it, huh? Broke a window, huh?
What's your wish, George?
Well, no, not just one wish. A whole hatful, Mary. I'm shaking the dust of this crummy little town at my feet, and I'm going to see the world. Italy, Greece, the Parthenon, the Colosseum. Then I'm going to come back here and go to college and see what they know. And then I'm going to build things. I'm going to build airfields. I'm going to build skyscrapers 100 stories high. I'm going to build bridges a mile long. And then I'm going to... hey, what are you doing? Oh, you're going to throw a rock too? Say, that's pretty good. What did you wish for, Mary?
I don't know if I tell you, it might not come true.
Oh, hey, Mary. Come on, what do you want, huh? Do you want the moon? All you gotta do is just say the word now.
Okay, I'll take it. And then what?
Well, then what? Well, I'll throw a lasso around it and I'll pull it down. And then you can swallow it. And it all dissolves, see? And the moonbeams shoot out your fingers and your toes and the ends of your hair. Am I talking too much?
Yes. Why don't kiss her instead of talking her to death?
Who's that?
Old man Collins on his front porch.
Youth is wasted on the wrong people.
Hey, hold on. Hey, mister, come back out here, and I'll show you some kissing that'll put hair back on your head. Now, you come back out here, and I'll...
George,
Uncle Billy?
George, get in the car quick. Your father had a stroke.
I'm sorry. I've got to go, Mary.
George's father died that night, Clarence. So of course George couldn't go to Europe, but that fall, just as he was ready to leave for college, the directors of the building and loan held a meeting. They were going to appoint a successor.
I want the board to know that George gave up his trip to Europe to help straighten things out here these past few weeks, and it was greatly appreciated. I think that's all we need for you, George. Good luck to you at school. I know you're anxious to make a train.
Yes, I have a taxi waiting downstairs.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to get to my real purpose. I claim this institution is not necessary to the town. Therefore, Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to dissolve the building and loan and turn all of its assets and liabilities over to the receiver.
It's too soon after Peter Bailey's death to discuss chloroforming the building and loan. It was his faith and devotion that are responsible for this organization.
I'd go further than that. I'd say that to the public. Peter Bailey was the building loan.
That's fine, Potter. Coming from you, considering you probably drove him to his grave.
Peter Bailey was not a businessman. That's what killed him. Oh, I don't mean any disrespect to the man. He was a man of high ideals, so-called. But ideals without common sense can ruin this town. What does that get us? A lazy, discontented rabble instead of a thrifty working class. And all because a few people like Peter Bailey stir them up and fill their heads with the lot of impossible doing. Now I say...
Just a minute. Hold on, Mr. Potter. You're right when you say my father was no businessman. Now, I know that. Why ever started this cheap, penny-up building and loan, I'll never know. But neither you nor anybody else can say anything against his character. Because his whole life was, like, in the 25 years that since he and Uncle Billy started this thing, he never once thought of himself. Isn't that right, Uncle Billy?
You got that right.
He didn't save enough money to send Harry to school, let alone me. But he did help a few people get out of your slums, Mr. Potter. And what's wrong with that? Why, here, you're all businessmen here. Doesn't it make them better citizens? Doesn't it make them better customers? You said, what did you just say a minute ago? That they had to wait and save their money before they even ought to think of a decent home. Wait? Wait for what? Until their children go up and leave them? Until they're so old and broken down that they... Do you have any idea how long it takes a working man to save $5,000? Just remember this, Mr. Potter. This rabble you're talking about, they do most of the working and paying and living and dying in this community. Was it too much to have them work and pay and live and die in a couple of decent rooms and a bath? Anyway, my father didn't think so. To him, people were human beings, but to you, a warped, frustrated old man, the cattle. Well, in my book, he died a much richer man than you'll ever be.
I'm not interested in your book. I'm talking about the building and loan.
Oh, I know very well what you're talking about. You're talking about something you can't get your fingers on and it's galling you. That's what you're talking about. Well, I've said too much. You're the board here. You do what you want with this thing. Just one thing more, though. This town needs this measly one-horse institution, if only to have some place where people can come without crawling to pot. Come on, Uncle Billy.
Sentimental hogwash. I want my motion.
They're just coming out the board meeting. I have to call you back. What happened, George? All we heard was a lot of yelling.
Boy, oh boy, Matilda, you should have heard George.
Yeah, they're voting us down in there.
George, get out of here. You missed your boat trip. Do you want to miss college too? Don't worry about the board. They're putting their us out of business. So what? I can get another job. I'm only 55.
You're 58.
George, they voted Potter down. We're still in business.
Whoopee! We're still in business. We're still in business.
But there's one condition, George. They've appointed you to take your father's place.
Appoint me? Oh, but I'm going to college. Now, Uncle Billy here, he's your man.
You can keep him on. That's all right.
No. Hold on. Now, let's get this thing straight. Now, I'm leaving. Now, I'm leaving right now. I'm going to school. This is my last chance.
But, George, you've got to take it. They'll vote with Potter otherwise.
So, George Bailey didn't go to college.
That's right, Clarence. He gave his college money to his brother, Harry, and Harry went instead.
But what happened to that good-looking girl? You know, Mary.
Oh, George saw her now and then. Not very often, though, because Mary went away to school, too. Anyway, George waited 4 years more for Harry to come back and take over the building alone. Then he could still see the world. He planned to work in the oil fields of Venezuela.
Now she blows, Uncle Billy. Say, Uncle Billy, you know what the three most wonderful sounds on earth are? Breakfast is served, lunch is served. No. Anchor chains, plane motors, and train whistles. Oh, here's the professor now.
Well, if it isn't George Geographic Explorer Bailey. Uncle Billy, you haven't changed a bit.
Nobody ever changes around here. You know that. Oh, I'm glad to see you.
Say, where's Mother?
Oh, she's home cooking the fatted calf. Come on, let's go.
Wait. This is Ruth Dakin.
Ruth Dakin Bailey, if you don't mind.
Huh?
Well, I wired you and I have a surprise. Here she is. Meet the wife.
Wow. What do you know? Wife. Oh, how do you do? What am I doing? Congratulations! Harry, why don't you tell somebody? Say, what's a pretty girl like you doing marrying this two-headed brother of mine?
Well, I'll tell you. It's purely mercenary. My father offered him a job.
Oh, he gets you and a job? Harry's runneth over. Come on, Ruth. Let's start ahead and leave the bags for the men.
All right.
George, about the job. Ruth spoke out of turn. I never said I'd take. You've been holding down the bag here for 4 years. And, well, I won't leave you down.
It's all right, Henry. It's all right.
And that night, the homecoming for Harry became his wedding party. Uncle Billy familiarized himself with the spirits.
Oh boy, you're so good I could spit on Potter's eye. I think I will. What do you say? Maybe I should go home if you just point me in the right direction.
Right down there.
That way, huh? Okay, old building in Lone I'll see you later. I'm alright.
George?
Yeah, I'm out here on the porch, Mother. Just thought I'd get some air.
Well, how do you like the new sister-in-law?
She's swell.
Looks like she'll keep Harry on his toes.
Yeah. Keep him out of Bedford Falls, anyway.
George, you know that Mary Hatch is back from school?
Yeah.
Nice girl, Mary.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, stop grumbling. Give me one good reason you shouldn't call on Mary.
Well, Sam Wainwright. Sam's crazy about her.
Well, she's not crazy about him.
Well, now, how do you know that? Did she discuss it with you?
Besides, Sam's away in New York, and you're here in Bedford Falls.
And all's fair in love and war.
Well, I don't know about war.
All right, Mother. I think I'll go out and find the girl and do a little bit of passionate necking.
Oh, George.
Bye, Mrs. Bailey. By the way, do you want any books at the library?
The library? George, you go and see Mary. Here?
Hello, George.
Hello, Mary. Just happened to be passing by.
Your mother just phoned and said you'd be paying me a visit.
Wait, my mother just called you? Well, how did she know?
Well,
I didn't tell anybody. I just went for a walk and happened to be passing by. Well, what did you... Went for a walk, that's all. When did you get back?
Tuesday. Would you like to come in?
Well, I guess since I'm here... Say, where'd you get that dress?
Oh, do you like it?
That's all right. I thought you'd go back to New York with Sam and Francie and the others.
Oh, I worked there again a couple of vacations, but I don't know. I guess I was homesick.
Homesick for Bedford Falls.
Yes, and my family and everything. Would you like to sit down?
All right, for a minute. I still can't understand it, though. You know, I didn't tell anybody I was coming here.
Would you rather leave?
Oh, I don't want to appear rude.
It was nice about marrying Ruth, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's all right.
Don't you like her?
Well, of course I like her. She's a peach.
Oh, it's just marriage in general. You're not enthusiastic about, huh?
No, marriage is okay for Harry and Sam Wainwright and you.
Mary, who's out there with you? It's George Bailey, Mother. George Bailey? What does he want? I don't know. What do you want, George?
Me? Well, not a thing. I just came in to get warm.
He's making violent love to me, Mother. Oh, you told him to go right back home and don't you leave the house. Sam Wainwright promised to call from New York tonight, didn't he?
Your mother needn't. You know I didn't come here to...
Well, what did you come here for?
Now, I don't know. You tell me. You're supposed to be the one with all the answers. You tell me.
Oh, why don't you go home?
That's where I'm going. I don't know why I came here in the first place.
Mary, the telephone. It's Sam. I'll get it. Hee-haw. Hello, Sam. How are you?
Oh, gee. It's great to hear your voice again.
Oh, well, that's awfully sweet of you, Sam. There's an old friend of yours here, George Bailey.
You mean old Mossback George?
Yes, old moss back, George.
Hee-haw! Put him on!
Wait a minute, I'll call him. George? He doesn't want to speak to George, you idiot. He does so. He asked for him. George, Sam wants to speak with you.
Hello, Sam.
Hey, a fine pal you are. What are you trying to do? Steal my girl?
Well, what do you mean?
wait a minute. I want to talk to both of you. Tell Mary to get on the extension.
Mother's on the extension.
I am not!
We can both hear you, Sam. George, just put your head a little closer.
Okay.
There, that's better. We're listening, Sam.
I have a big deal coming up that's going to make us all rich. George, you remember that night at Martini's bar when you told me about making plastics out of soybeans?
Huh? Yeah. Soybeans. Yeah.
Well, my father's checked into it, George. See, and now he's going to build a factory outside of Rochester. How do you like that?
Rochester? Well, why Rochester?
Well, why not? Can you think of anything better?
Oh, I don't know. Well, why not right here in Bedford Falls? You remember that old tool shed and machinery works? You tell your father he can get that for a song. And all the labor he wants too. Half the town was thrown out of work when they closed down.
That's so. Well, I'll tell him. Hey, that sounds great. Oh, baby, I knew you'd come through. Now, here's the point, George. I may have a job for you. That is, unless you're still married to the old broken down building and loan. And Mary?
I'm here.
You tell that guy and give him the chance of a lifetime, you see?
He says it's the chance of a lifetime.
Give me that phone. Now listen to me, Mary. I don't want any plastics. I don't want any job. And I don't want to get married, ever, to anyone. You understand that? I want to do what I want to do, and you're not going to. Oh, Mary.
George.
Oh, Mary. I love you.
George, I love you too.
You'll return to WBFR Tales of the Earth's presentation of It's a Wonderful Life in just a few moments.
But first, gentlemen, does your hair resemble a dried out bird's nest full of dandruff flakes? Do you plaster your head on like cheap gigolo, smelling to high heaven?
Oh, gross!
When girls get a gander at the tip top of your noggin, do they go?
Ew!
Well, here's a friendly hint. That will help you out in the romance department. Starting tomorrow, why not try Brownell's Hair Tonic? Guess you'll be heading for success with Brownell Groom's hair. The success with the gal is on down the job. Brownell always keeps hair looking mighty attractive. Always in place. A real sex appeal now. Brownell's Hair Tonic. There's lots more than keep your hair handsome looking. Buy some Brownell today. Your hair will thank you.
George and Mary were married, and following the wedding reception, George's old pal Ernie, the cab driver, drove the happy couple to the train station.
Hey, where are you two going on this here honeymoon?
Well, we're going to shoot the works, Ernie. The whole week in New York, the whole week in Bermuda, the highest hotels, the oldest champagne, the richest caviar, the hottest music, and the prettiest wife.
Here's the kitty earning $2,000. I feel like a bootlegger's wife.
So we finally get out Bedford Falls then, huh? Then what?
Oh, well then what, honey?
After that, who cares?
That does it! Mrs. Bailey, I haven't kissed you since...
Hey, George, there's something funny going on over there. Look, is there a run on the bank? It looks like a run.
Pull over a minute, will you, Ernie?
George, let's not stop. Please, let's go straight to the station.
Now, wait a minute. I better see what it is. I'll be right back.
George? Please, George?
What is this, Uncle Billy? A holiday? Why are the doors locked? There's a crowd out front.
This is the pickle, George.
All right, now what happened?
All I know is the bank called our loan, and I had to hand out all of our cash.
All of it?
Every last cent.
Holy mackerel!
And then I got scared, George, and I closed the doors.
Our charter says we need to stay open until 6 o'clock or we'll lose our license.
Bailey, brother, going
Get
again?
me George.
George, it's Potter.
Hello?
George, there's a rumor around town that you've closed your doors. Is that true?
No, it isn't.
Do you need any police? Mobs get pretty ugly sometimes, you know?
We're fine.
We'll see. Now, George, I'm going all out to help in this crisis. I've just guaranteed the bank sufficient funds to meet their needs. They'll close for a week and then reopen. I'm losing fortune, but I'm willing to guarantee your people too. Just tell them to bring the shares over here, and I'll pay the 50 cents on the dollar.
Oh, you don't miss a trick, do you, Potter? Well, you're gonna miss this one.
If you close your doors before 6 p.m., you'll never reopen.
He just took over the bank, Uncle Billy. Open the doors. Just let them in. Hey, now, just remember that this thing isn't as black as it appears. Now, I have some news for you folks. I've just talked to Old Man Potter, and he's guaranteed cash payments at the bank.
What about our money, George? Where's our money?
Now, please, now, wait a minute. Listen to me. You're thinking of this place all wrong. The money's not here. Now, wait a minute. Let me tell you. Your money's in people's houses. In the Kennedy house, in the McLaren house, and in your house, and in 100 others. Now, what are you gonna do? Foreclose on them?
$240 in here, and $240 isn't gonna break anybody.
All right, Charlie, all right. Now, you'll get your money in 60 days.
60 days?
Well, now that's what you agreed to when you bought your shares.
I got my money. Old Man Potter's taking over the bank. He'll pay you 50 cents on every dollar.
Now, wait a minute. Please, folks, please don't leave. I beg you not to do this. If Potter gets a hold of your shares, he'll be owning this building alone. He's got the bank. He's got the bus line. He's got the department stores. And now he's after us. Because he wants to keep you living in his shacks and paying the kind of rent he decides to charge. Now, we can get through this, but we have got to stick together. We've got to have faith in each other.
My husband's out of work. We need money. I got doctor's bills to pay. Can't feed my kids with faith. Oh, what am I supposed to do?
How much do you need? I've got $2,000 from the wedding.
Hey, Mary! I've got $2,000 here. This will tie us over until the bank reopens. All right, Charlie, now how much do you need?
$242.
Oh, Charlie, just enough to tide you over until the bank reopens.
I'll take $242.
Okay. Uncle Billy, give Charlie $242. Okay, all right. Ed, now how much just to get by?
$20, I suppose.
Now we're talking. Mrs. Thompson, how about you?
But your money, George.
Oh, never mind that. How much do you want, Mrs. Thompson?
Could I have $17.50?
70. Bless your heart, of course you can have it. Uncle Billy, give her $17.50. Pay it back when you can now. Pay it back when you can. All right. Who's next? Look at the clock. What? 5 seconds. 4 seconds. 3, 2, 1. 6 o'clock, we made it! Lock that door, Uncle Billy. Boy, we're still in business, and we've even got $2 left.
Bailey Brothers are building. In just a minute. George, there's a call for you.
Now, look, will you get my wife on the phone? She's probably over at her mother's.
Miss Bailey is on the phone.
Now, I don't want Mrs. Bailey. I want my wife. Oh, Mrs. Bailey, that's my wife. Mary? Hello, listen, dear. Now, I'm sorry. What? Come home? Well, what home? 320 Sycamore? Well, what? Whose home is that? The Waldorf Hotel, huh?
That doesn't look like the Waldorf.
Oh, no. Number 320 Sycamore was the old Granville house. The one George and Mary threw rocks at and made wishes. Mary had prepared the house, including a turkey dinner, romantic decorations, and even a marriage bed.
Welcome home, Mr. Bailey.
Well, I'll be.
Remember the night we broke the windows in this old house? This is what I wished for.
Darling, you're wonderful.
Yes, sir. That's where they spent their honeymoon. That's where they started their lives together. Mary made the leaky old house a home, while George toiled away at the building a loan office, providing houses for people like Giuseppe Martini.
Very Martini, you renting new house?
Rent? Ah, you hear that, Mr. Bailey? I own this house. Me, Giuseppe Martini. I own my own house. No more we live like pigs in Potter's field.
We have something for you and your family, Mr. Martini. George and I bring something for all the new owners.
For the Martinis? Maria, come quick. Our first housewarming gifts. Ready for kids?
Bread, so that this house may never know hunger. Salt, that the house may always have flavor.
And wine, that joy and prosperity may reign forever. Enter the Martini Castle.
Bailey houses were popping up all over the place, mostly owned by people that used to live in Potter's Field. And Potter had just about enough of that. So after a couple of years, Old Man Potter decided to call our George into his office.
Sit down, George. Sit down. Have a cigar?
Well, thank you, sir. That's quite a cigar, Mr. Potter.
You like it? I'll send you a box.
Well, I suppose I'll be finding out sooner or later, but just what exactly did you want to see me about?
George, now, that's just what I like so much about you. George, I'm an old man, and most people hate me. But I'm like mine, so that makes it even. You know just as well as I do that I own practically everything in this town but the Bailey building and loan. You know also that, for a number of years, I've been trying to get control of it. Or kill it. But I haven't been able to do it. You've been stopping me. In fact, you have beat me, George. And that takes some doing. Take, for instance, during the Depression. You and I were the only ones who got their heads. You saved the building alone, and I saved all the rest.
Yeah, well, most people say you stole the rest.
The envious ones say that, George. The suckers. Now, let's look at your side. Young man, 27, 28, married, making, say, 40 a week.
45.
45.
45.
Now, if you were some ordinary yokel, I'd say you're doing just fine. But George Bailey is intelligent, ambitious. He keeps the building alone just as much as about as much as I do. He's been dying to get out of this town ever since he was born. A young man, the smartest one in the crowd, mind you, who's had to sit by and watch his friends go places because he's trapped into frittering his life away playing nursemaid to a whole lot of garlic eaters. Do I paint the correct picture, George? Or do I exaggerate?
What's your point, Mr. Potter?
My point is, you're the only man in town who's licked me. I want to hire you. Manage my affairs. I'll start you out at $20,000 a year.
$20,000 a year?
You wouldn't mind living in the nicest house in town. Buying your wife a whole lot of fine clothes. A couple business trips to New York a year. Maybe once in a while in Europe. You wouldn't mind that, would you, George?
Would I? You're not talking to somebody else around here, are you? You're talking to me. You sure about that? I'm George Bailey. Don't you remember me? The building and loan, remember?
Yes, George Bailey, whose ship has just come in, providing he has the brains to climb board.
Well, what about the building and loan?
Oh, confound it, man! I'm offering you a 3-year contract at $20,000 a year. It's a deal, isn't it?
Mr. Potter, I know I ought to jump at the chance, but I wonder if you might give me 24 hours to think about it?
Sure. You go home and talk to your wife.
Yeah, I'd like that.
In the meantime, I'll drop the papers and soon you'll be managing my affairs.
Your affairs? No. The answer's no, doggone it! You sit around here and you spin your little webs and you think the whole world revolves around you and your money. Well, it doesn't, Mr. Potter. In the whole vast configuration of things, I'd say you were nothing but a scurvy little spider.
What did Mr. Potter want, George?
Nothing. Just to talk about nothing. Oh, gee, Mary Hatch. Why in the world did you ever marry a guy like me anyway?
To keep from being an old maid.
I was going to see the world. I was going to build things. I was going to give you the moon, Mary. What have I given you? What have I given you? Not even a new dress? Not for months. You could have married Sam Wainwright. Anybody else in town.
I didn't want to marry anybody else in town. I want my baby to look like you.
You didn't even have a honeymoon. Now, I promised you. You're what?
My baby.
Mary, what are you? You mean, Mary, you're on the nest?
George Bailey Lasso Stork.
Well, Mary had her baby, a boy.
You don't say.
Then she had a girl.
Well, what do you know?
Night after night, George would come home late from the office. Things were good with the building alone. Potter was really bearing down hard. Then came the war. Mary had another baby by then, but still had time to run the USO. George and Uncle Billy sold war bonds, vitally entertained the troops. Bertha Cobb was wounded in North Africa, got the Silver Star. Ernie, the taxi driver, parachuted into France. Harry Bailey topped them all, a Navy fighter. He shot down 15 planes, 2 of them as they were about to crash into a transport full of soldiers.
Yes, but George. What about George?
George? 4F on account of his ear. George fought the Battle of Bedford Falls. Air raid wardens, paper drives, scrap drives, rubber drives. On BA Day, he wept and prayed. BJ Day, he wept and prayed again.
We're getting pretty close to today, aren't we, ma'am?
Yes, Clarence. You know now almost everything you have to know about George Bailey, except what happened that finds him down there at this moment wanting to die.
Well, ma'am? Well,
today's the day before Christmas, and Billy is at the bank to make a deposit when he ran into Old Man Potter.
Oh, well, Mr. Henry F. Potter, come back to deposit some more loot, huh? Sure, you old fool. How do you like the newspaper, Mr. Potter? Harry Bailey wins Congressional Medal of Honor. Just can't keep those Bailey boys down now, can you?
Let me see that newspaper.
There you go. Sorry, can't chit-chat, you old fool. Gotta make a deposit.
Good morning, Mr. Bailey.
Good morning. Here you are, deposit slip, bank book, and a very Merry Christmas to you.
You too, Mr. Bailey. Say, you've forgotten something, haven't you?
What's that?
You want to make a deposit?
What's that for me?
Well, it's customary to bring the money with you.
It's gone. Where I put it? Where I put that money?
Terrible thief, Clarence. Terrible. Uncle Billy couldn't find the money because the envelope with the $8,000 was folded up in that newspaper he gave to Old Man Potter. At the same time as Billy started looking for the deposit, Violet came to visit George at the building alone.
Oh, hello, Vi.
Suppose you're getting things set back in the house for the party tonight.
Well, you know you're invited. What's wrong?
You see right through me, don't you?
How much do you need?
I hate doing this to you, George, but I won't be asking for any more after this.
You're planning on robbing a bank, Vi?
I'm going to Manhattan.
What's in Manhattan?
Why, everything's in Manhattan. And to start at least.
Well, that's a big step, Vi. What's the matter with starting a new life right here in Bedford Falls?
Well, I'll be. Never thought I'd hear that from you, George Bailey. I thought you hated this place.
Oh, I did. But this town has a charm of its own.
You should give tours, maybe.
I'm just thinking of you, Violet. Manhattan's a big place to take on your own.
I've made my decision. There's a midnight train tonight, and I plan to be on it.
It takes a lot of character to leave your hometown and start all over again. Here. Here's some dough.
No, George, don't.
What do you want to do? Hawk your furs in that hat? You want to walk to New York? You know, they charge for meals and rent up there the same they do here in Bedford Falls.
Yeah, sure.
Now, it's a loan. That's my business. Building a loan. Besides, you'll get a job. Good luck to you.
I'm glad to know you, George Bailey.
Say hello to New York for me.
Merry Christmas, George.
George, the uncle. Oh, what's going on? The bank examiner's coming today. And today? Yeah. Wants the accounts payable. Say, what's the matter with you?
The money, the $8,000.
What, Uncle Billy? What happened to it?
I don't know. I was going to deposit it, and when I went to the bank, I didn't have it.
$8,000, Uncle Billy? The bank examiner's in town, and it's not our money. It belongs to the depositors.
I'm so sorry, George. I didn't know what happened.
Oh, well, the first place you look is in your coat pocket. I told you to put it in there when you left.
Oh, I'm no good to you, George. I'm no good.
But let's go then. We have to retrace your steps. We'll leave no stone unturned.
As George and Billy went looking for the deposit, Potter had a meeting with the state bank examiner, a Miss Sadie Vance.
The whole town's turned upside down with the Bailey boys' homecoming, congressional medal and all.
I guess they do things like that.
May I look at your paper?
Go ahead.
This is a deposit from Bailey.
That old fool Billy Bailey gave me that newspaper.
Well, you're going to deposit it for him,
Didn't
right?
think he would make such a foolish mistake. Well, you know how much it is?
There's $8,000 here.
What a Christmas present. And he doesn't even know it.
Just a minute here, Potter. I know you've been giving the Baileys a hard time far back as I can remember. Why?
I don't have to give answers to you. You're just a state examiner.
Yes, I am, but I'm unimpressed with your buying off everyone in town. Oh, that's it. You can never buy off the Baileys.
What?
You heard what I said. The Baileys have always stood for something you've always wanted and are so jealous of. They're honest.
You're a buyer.
You can't fire me. I'm state appointed. And what's more, I'm not going to turn my back. This is stealing from the Baileys. Something that's like this would certainly cause him to fold.
Yes, and after 25 years. Finders keepers, you know that. He gave me the money in his own fault. Besides, there's not a court in the county that would find me guilty.
And we all know why.
How's your family, Sadie?
My family?
I know how little state physicians pay. What would you say to a little Christmas bonus?
I want no part of this.
It's not what I heard.
What are you insinuating, Potter?
I'm not becoming down.
What do you want me to do?
I want you to pay the Baileys a surprise visit. You'll see the records. It'll be short. You know the rest. At last, the Baileys will be where they belong. Down for good.
I know just what to do.
And did you put the envelope in your pocket?
Yeah, maybe.
Uncle Billy, we've got to find that money!
I'm no good to you, George.
Do you have any secret hiding place here in the house?
I've gone over the whole house, even in rooms have been locked since your illustrious Aunt Laura.
Now listen to me! Think!
I can't think anymore, George. It hurts.
Where's the money, you stupid, silly old fool? Do you realize what this means? It means bankruptcy, and scandal, and prison. One of us is going to jail. Well, it's not going to be me.
Hello, darling. Hello, Daddy. Hello, Daddy. Daddy, bring the wreath.
What wreath?
The Christmas tree through the window.
I left it at the office.
Is it snowing?
Yeah, it just started.
Where's your coat and hat?
I left them at the office.
What's the matter?
No, nothing's the matter. Everything's all right.
Isn't it wonderful about Harry? We're famous, George. I'll bet I had 50 calls today about the parade, the banquet. Your mother, she's so excited.
Must she keep playing that?
I have to practice for the party tonight, Daddy. Mommy says we can stay up until midnight and sing Christmas carols. Can you sing, Daddy? Better hurry and shave, George. The families will be here soon.
Families? I don't want families over here.
Is
typical red letter day for the Baileys.
Daddy, the Brownstein store has a new car. You should see it.
Well, what's the matter with our car? Isn't it good enough for you?
Yes, Daddy.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Excuse you for what?
I booked.
All right, darling, you're excused. Now go upstairs and see what little Zuzu wants.
What's the matter with Zuzu?
Oh, she got a cold. Caught it from coming home from school. They gave her a flower for a prize, and she didn't want to crush it, so she didn't zip up her coat.
Well, what is it? Is it a sore throat?
Doctor says it's nothing serious.
Is she running? The doctor was here?
I called him right away.
Is she running a temperature?
Just a teensy one.
Gosh, it's this old house. Now, I don't know why we don't all have pneumonia. This crappy old barn. Might as well be living in a refrigerator. Why do we have to live here in the first place and stay around this measly, crummy old town?
George, what's wrong?
Wrong? Everything's wrong. You call this a happy family? Why do we have to have all these kids?
Dad, how do you spell frankincense?
I don't know. Ask your mother.
Where are you going?
Out to see Zuzu.
Hi, Daddy.
Well, what happened to you?
I want a flower.
Where do you think you're going?
Give my flower a drink.
No. Here. Give Daddy the flower. I'll give it a drink.
Look, Daddy. Some of the petals came off. Paste it.
Yeah, all right. I'll piece this together. There it is. Good as new.
Give the flower a drink.
Now, will you do something for me?
What?
You try to get some sleep?
But I'm not sleepy. I just want to look at my flower.
Well, I know. But you just go to sleep, and then you can dream about it. And it'll be a whole garden.
Well,
Uh-huh.
Hello. I'll get it. Hello. Yes, this is Mrs. Bailey. Oh, thank you, Mrs. Welch. The doctor says she'll be out of it in time for Christmas dinner.
Is that Zuzu's teacher?
Yes.
Let me speak to her. Hello? Mrs. Welch? This is George Bailey. Say, what kind of teacher are you anyway? What do you mean sending her home like that, half naked? George! Now, is this the sort of thing we pay taxes for? To have teachers like you? Silly, stupid, careless people who send our kids home without any clothes on? Dumb and stupid.
Hello, Mrs. Welch. I want to apologize. Hello? Hello? She hung up.
Oh, I'll hang her up.
Now who do you think you are?
Now, wait a minute. Hello? Who is this? Oh, Mr. Welch. Okay, that's fine, Mr. Welch. It gives me a chance to tell you what I really think about your wife.
George.
Now, will you get out and let me handle this? Hello? Oh, you will, huh? Now, okay, Mr. Welch, anytime you think that you're man enough to. Hello? Any? Oh.
Daddy, how to spell hallelujah?
What do you think I am, a dictionary? Jamie, haven't you learned that silly tune yet? You play it over and over again. Now just stop it! Stop it!
George, what are you doing?
I'm sorry, Mary. Jamie, I'm sorry. I didn't mean... You go on and practice. Pete, I owe you an apology too. I'm sorry. What did you want to know?
Nothing, Daddy.
Well, what's the matter with everybody? Jamie, go on. I told you to practice. Now go on, play.
Oh, Daddy. George, why must you torture the children? Oh, why don't you?
Mary.
Where's Daddy going? Bedford 247, please.
Is Daddy in trouble?
Yes, Pete.
Shall I pray for him?
Yes, Jamie, pray. Pray very hard.
Me too?
You too, Tommy. Hello, Billy?
So that's it, George. You're short $8,000 in the books, huh?
Oh, please, Mr. Potter. I'll pay any sort of interest. If you still want the building and loan...
You said it was lost. Did you notify the police?
No, sir, I haven't done that yet. Harry's homecoming is tomorrow, and I don't want to...
Why did you come to me? Well, your good friend Sam Wainwright.
I can't get a hold of him. He's in Europe.
What kind of security would I have, George?
What collateral?
I have some life insurance, a $15,000 policy,
How much is your equity in it?
$500.
And you want 8,000? Look at you. You used to be so cocky. You were going to go out and conquer the world. You once called me a warped, frustrated old man. What are you but a warped, frustrated young man? Crawling here on your hands and knees for help. No securities, no stocks, no bonds. You're worth more dead than you are alive. Why don't you go to the riffraff you love so much and ask them for help?
I'll do anything, Mr. Potter. Please help me. My wife and my kids.
You know what I'm gonna do for you? As a stockholder of the building and loan, I'm calling the state examiner to get a warrant for your arrest. Misappropriation of funds, manipulation,
Mr. Potter, please.
malfeasance.
They can't arrest me.
Go on and run. You can't hide from a town like this. Merry Christmas, George!
And now, more from our sponsors. Are you guilty of careless driving because windshield bug spots dulled your vision?
Yes, I'm guilty.
Stop straining to see through a bug-splattered windshield. Duck's toilet cake gets the squash bugs off quickly, easily, yes, even when the sun has baked them into glass.
Remember, you need clear vision as well as good brakes to avoid accidents. You'll find Duck's toilet cake leaves the glass polished so crystal clear you'll hardly know it's there.
I feel so much safer after I clean my windshield with Duck's toilet. It leaves no dangerous oily film to pick up dust and make night driving difficult.
Duck's toilet cake, the soap of 100 uses.
You better wash high, you better wash low. Behind your ears too, I'm telling you so. Duck's toilet cake is cleaning uptown. It washes up cars, it washes up bars, and out in LA it washes up stars. Duck's toilet cake is cleaning uptown. It's found in every bathroom, from sea to shining sea. It's used by our dear president, and it's used by you and me. You better wash high, you better wash low. Behind your ears too, I'm telling you so. Duck's toilet cake is cleaning uptown.
Buy a cake with Duck's toilet soap today. Keep it in your car.
And now, the dramatic conclusion of It's a Wonderful Life.
Merry Christmas, glad you come.
Oh, not so high, please, spaghetti.
We got everything.
George, ma'am. Where?
After running out of Potter's office, George ended up at Martini's bar. He had a couple of drinks, Clarence. He's just sitting there.
What's he saying? Who is he talking to?
God, dear Father in heaven, I'm not a praying man, but you're up there, you can hear me. Show me the way. I'm at the end of my rope. Show me the way.
Are you alright, George? You want somebody to take you home?
Why do you drink so much, my friend? You don't feel good? Please go home, Mr. Bailey.
Bailey? You say Bailey, which Bailey?
This gentleman is Mr. Bailey.
George Bailey, huh? And the next time you talk to my wife like that, you'll get worse. It isn't enough she slaves teaching your stupid kids how to read and write. You gotta ball her out.
You get out of here, Mr. Walsh. You hit my best friend. You get out.
All right, all right.
Mr. Bailey, you okay?
Who was that?
Mr. Walsh. But don't worry, he don't come into this place no more. I'll get something for your face. It's bleeding.
Now, I'm all right.
Please don't go away, Mr. Bailey. Please don't.
Leave me alone! Leave me alone!
Clarence? Can you see him?
He looks like he's going to jump.
It's time, Clarence.
Excuse me there. Have you got the time?
My watch is dead.
Thanks, just the same. Help me! I can't swim!
Hold it, mister! I'm coming!
What, Samuel? What are you two doing? This storm's not fit for man or beast. Now get out of that water. Are you all right? Do you need a doctor?
No, I'm all right.
No, I'm fine. This underwear, I didn't have time to get into anything stylish. My wife actually gave this to me on my last birthday. I passed away in it.
Passed away?
Oh, I see Tom Sawyer's drying out too. Oh, my book. I left in such a hurry. I brought Tom Sawyer with me. You should read the new book Mark Twain's working on.
How'd you happen to fall in?
Oh, I jumped in. I jumped in to save you.
You jumped in to save me?
Well, I did, didn't I? You didn't go through with it, did you?
Go through with what?
Suicide.
It's against the law to commit suicide around here.
Yeah, it's against the law where I come from, too.
Where do you come from?
Heaven.
Huh?
Well, I had to act quickly. That's why I jumped in. I knew that if I were drowning, you would try and save me. And, well, you see, you did. And that's how I saved you.
Oh, that's very funny.
Your lips bleeding, George.
Yeah. I got a bust in the jaw in answer to a prayer.
No, George. I'm the answer to your prayer.
How do you know my name?
Oh, I know all about you. I watched you grow up from a little boy.
Well, what are you, a mind reader or something?
Oh, no.
Well, who are you then?
Clarence Oddbody, AS2.
Oddbody? The AS2? Well, what's that? What's AS2?
Angel Second Class.
Hey, I'm gonna get out of here. You may not need a doctor, but I do.
Cheerio, my good man.
Hey, look here. Why'd you want to save me?
Because I'm your guardian angel.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised.
Ridiculous of you to think of killing yourself for money. $8,000?
Yeah, just things like that. Now, how did you know that?
Well, I told you, I'm your guardian angel. I know everything about you.
Oh, you sure look like the kind of angel I get. Sort of a fallen angel, are you? What happened to your wings?
Well, I haven't won my wings yet. That's why I'm an angel second class.
Oh, I see.
Oh, but you can help me earn them, George, by letting me help you.
You don't happen to have 8,000 bucks on you?
Oh, no, we don't use money in heaven.
Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting. That comes in pretty handy down here, Bob. I found it out a little late. I'm worth more dead than alive.
Now, look, you mustn't say things like that. I won't get my wings with that attitude. You just don't know all that you've done. If it hadn't been for you...
Yeah, if it hadn't been for me, everybody'd be a whole lot better off. My wife, and my kids, and my friends.
This isn't going to be easy.
They'd all be better off if I had never been born.
What'd you say?
I said I wished I'd never been born.
George, that's wonderful.
Wonderful?
Well, the idea you just gave me. Well, you've got your wish. You've never been born.
Never been born?
Exactly. No worries. No $8,000 to get. Nothing. You simply don't exist.
Now, hey, wait a minute. Say something in this ear of mine. Say something else in that ear.
You don't have a bad ear anymore. Don't you see? You're not the George Bailey you think you are. You're, well, you're nobody.
What is the doggonest thing?
Your lips stopped bleeding too, George.
What do you know about that? What happened? I need a drink. That's what I need. What about you, Angel? You want a drink?
Oh, well, I don't know.
No, come on. We'll go as soon as our clothes dry.
Our clothes are dry.
Hey, so they are. That's funny. The snow's hotter than I thought it was. Well, look, let's get dressed, and we'll stroll over to Martini's, and then... Oh, excuse me, I'll stroll. You fly.
I haven't got my wings.
Yeah, you haven't got your wings. That's right. I keep forgetting. A couple of drinks and we'll both fly.
Look, I'm the boss. You want a drink or don't you?
Okay, all right. Double bourbon. Quick, huh?
Okay. What's yours, bub?
I was just thinking of mulled wine.
Huh?
Heavy on the cinnamon and light on the cloves. Off with you, my lad, and lively now.
Look, mister, we serve 5 drinks in here for men who want to get drunk fast. And we don't need any characters around here to give the joint atmosphere.
Now, come on here. Just give him the same as I ordered. He's okay.
It's double bourbon.
Now, what about this place? It's all changed.
All of Bedford Falls has changed. You're having your wish, George. You've never been born. There'll be lots of things you've never seen before. And good, somebody's just made it.
Made what?
Every time you hear a bell ring, it means some angel's just got his wings.
What did you just say?
Well, Clarence, I don't think you better talk about the angels around here.
Don't they believe in angels?
Yeah, they believe in them, but, it's just...
Well, then why should people be surprised when they see one?
Don't mind him, man. He just never grew up, that's all. How old are you anyway, Clarence?
293. Next May.
That does it. Out! You two, Pixie. Go out through the door. Out through the window. Go on.
Get it! Where's my team? Oh, will you tell him?
Stop asking about my team. He ain't here. Well. Look who crawled out from underneath whatever hole he's been hiding in.
Hey, it's Mr. Gower.
Hey, you rummy! Didn't I tell you to never come panhandling around here again?
George, look.
Mr. Gower, this is George Bailey. Don't you know me?
Will you buy me a drink, mister? Just one drink, mister?
Binky, throw the rummy out!
You got it. Hey, Nick, isn't that Mr. Gower, the druggist?
That rumhead spent 20 years in jail for poisoning some kid. If you know him, you must be a jailbird yourself. Binky, you got 2 more right here. Throw them out.
Got it, boss.
Here, let me help you up. The snow is quite cold.
What's wrong with Mr. Gower?
Mr. Gower doesn't know you, George. You see, you weren't there to stop Mr. Gower from putting that poison into the persuasion.
Well, what do you mean I wasn't there? Well, what are you, a hypnotist? Why am I seeing all these strange things?
Don't you understand? It's because you were never born.
Well, then if I wasn't born, who am I?
You're nobody. You have no identity.
What do you mean, no identity? My name is George Bailey.
There is no George Bailey. You have no papers, no cards, no driver's license, no Form F card, and no insurance.
Susan Petals.
What?
Susan's petals. My little girl. Some petals fell off of her flower. I told her I fixed it and I stuck it in my pocket, but they're gone. Everything is gone.
Oh, but you've been given a great gift, George. The chance to see what the world would be like if you had never been born.
You're crazy! You're crazy as a big bug! You're driving me crazy, too! Now look, I'm going home to my wife and family. Do you understand that? And I'm going all alone!
You know the drill. Hands behind your back, sister.
Keep your hands off me. Why don't you bust somebody else for a change?
Hey, officer! Where did the building and loan move to?
The building and what?
The Bailey Building and Loan. It was up here.
It went out years ago. Now all that's left is this burlesque house.
Not so fast, Crawford. I know.
Hey, Violet! Hey, listen! That's Violet Bick!
Oh, I know. Believe me.
Well, I know that girl!
Who doesn't? Now get out of our way.
Taxi! Taxi! Hey, Ernie, take me home. I'm going off my nut.
Where do you live?
Oh, doggone it, Ernie. Don't you start pulling that stuff. You know where I live. 320 Sycamore. Now hurry up.
Okay, 326 more it is.
Yeah, hurry up. Susan's sick.
Alrighty.
Look here, Ernie. Straighten me out here. I've got some bad liquor or something. Now listen to me. Now, you are Ernie Bishop, and you live in Bailey Park with your wife and kid. That's right, isn't it?
You've seen my wife?
Seen your wife? I've been to your house 100 times.
Look, bud, I don't know what that is. I live in a shack in Pottersfield. My wife ran away 3 years ago and took the kid. And I haven't seen you in my life.
Okay, just step on it. Just get me home.
Is this the place?
Of course it's the place.
Well, this house ain't been lived in for 20 years.
Mary! Mary, I'm home! Pete! Tommy! Janie! Zuzu! Where are you?
They're not here, George. You have no children.
Where are they, Clarence? What have you done with them?
All right, put up your hands.
Oh, what's this?
No fast moves. Come on out here, both of you.
Bert! Oh, thank heaven you're here. Bert, what's happened to this house? Where's Mary? Where's my kids?
Watch you, Bert.
Come on. I'm taking you down to the station.
Okay, Bert, now listen to me. It's that fellow there. He says he's an angel. He's trying to hypnotize me.
Don't make me use my nightstick.
Bert, I hate to do this, but...
Run! George! Run, George!
Ma Bailey's boarding house.
Well,
Mother?
Mother, what do you want?
Mother, this is George. I thought sure you'd remember me.
George, who? If you're looking for a room, there's no vacancy.
Oh, Mother, please try to understand. Something's happened to me. I don't know what it is, but I need a place to stay. Please let me stay here.
Don't take in strangers.
I'm not a stranger. I know everybody you know. Your brother-in-law, Uncle Billy.
You know him?
Well, sure I do.
When you see him last?
Today, over at his house.
That's a lie. He's been in the insane asylum ever since he lost his business. And if you ask me, that's where you belong.
I'm here again, George.
My mother. My own mother didn't even recognize me.
Strange, isn't it? One man's life touches so many others, and when he isn't around, he leaves a pretty big hole, doesn't he?
Look, you! I've heard of things like this before. You've got me under some kind of spell or something. Well, I'm gonna get out of it. I've got to. I know I talked to Uncle Billy this afternoon, so how can he be in an asylum? I've got to snap out of this. Now let me think a minute. Bailey Park!
There is no Bailey Park if you weren't here to build it.
Oh, we'll see.
This is Bailey Park? People live here? Pretty grim.
This is where Bailey Park is supposed to be. What's this gravestone doing here? And why isn't there Bailey on it?
Well, that wouldn't be yours.
My father's name is on it. But what's this other name? Why is my brother Harry's name on it?
Your brother broke through the ice and drowned at the age of 9.
That's a lie! Harry went to war! He got the Congressional Medal of Honor! He saved the lives of every man on that transport!
Every man on that transport died. Harry wasn't there to save them because you weren't there to save Harry. You see, George, you really had a wonderful life.
Don't you see what a mistake would be to throw it away?
What do I do now, Clarence? What do I do?
It's your life, George.
What happened to Mary, Clarence?
Mary?
My wife, Mary. What happened to her if I was never born?
I'm not supposed to tell you, George.
I don't know how you know the things you do. But please, if you know where she is, just let me see her. That's all I need to make a decision.
Very well, George, but you're not going to like it.
Where is she, Clarence?
She's an old maid, George.
Where is she?
She's just about to close up the library. There must be some easier way to earn my wings.
Is the library closed?
It's Christmas Eve. We can't stay open all night.
Can I ask you something?
I should really be getting home.
What is there to go home to?
That is none of your business, sir. The library is closed. You should try back at 26.
Mary, I'm sorry.
How do you know my name?
All I need is a couple of minutes.
I told you the library is closed.
Please, just 2 minutes. That's all I need. I'll do anything.
You sound desperate. I'll try to help if I can. What is it?
It's in this town, Bedford Falls.
It used to be, but that was some time ago. I wasn't very old when Potter was elected and took the town, along with his name for himself.
So, you do know a place called Bedford Falls?
I've seen pictures. It looks very nice. Things have changed, but that's with the times. I have to go.
Mary Hatch, you live on Reed Street, a white Victorian. Your bedroom is at the top of the stairs. You turn left. You have an older brother, Marty, and you live with your mother, Edwina.
How do you know all of this? What are you, some crazy man? Stop it, I'm leaving.
Don't you know me, Mary? Please, just let me touch you.
Get your hands off of me. I'll call a cop.
The house you wish for. Don't you remember?
I told you I don't know. Let go of the officer.
Don't you know me? You must marry. It's George. Don't you know me?
Let me go.
Mary, please. No, don't do this to me. Mary, please, help me. Where are our kids?
What?
Oh, that's good. I need you, Mary. Mary, help me, please.
Get away from me. Help, police.
Mary, it's George. Please, Mary. You're my wife. Ah! Clarence! Please! Where are you? Help me, Clarence, please! Get me back! I don't care what happens to me! Only get me back to my wife and kids! Help me, Clarence! Please! Please! I want to live again! I want to live again, please! Please! Oh, God! Please let me live again!
George? Is that you, George?
Now get out of here, Bert! Get out of here! You come any closer and I'll hit you again!
What the Sam hell are you yelling for, George?
Now, come on! George? George? Bert, do you know me?
Know you? I've been looking all over town for you. Where have you been?
Hey, Bert! Bert, I'm alive again, Bert!
You sure you're alright? Oh, hey, your mouth's bleeding.
It is? My mouth's bleeding. Bert, look at the blood come out of there! What you... Susie's pets. Susie's pets. There they are! What do you know about that? Merry Christmas, Bert!
Merry Christmas. Get in the car. I'll drive you home.
No, you will, Bert. We'll do that and turn the siren wide open. Merry Christmas, Bedford Falls! Hey, Merry Christmas, you wonderful Billy and Will! Merry Christmas, Mr. Potter! Yahoo! My wife? Hey, what is this? Are these people reporters? Hey, Merry Christmas, reporters!
Mr. Bailey, there's a deficit.
Oh, I know. $8,000, I bet, huh?
Now, George, I've got a little paper here.
I'll bet it's an award for my arrest. Isn't it wonderful? Merry Christmas! Hey, where's Mary? Do you know? Look at this wonderful old drafty house. Isn't it wonderful? Where's Mary? Kids! Pete, Jamie, Tommy! Oh, I can eat you up! Where's your mother?
She went looking for you with Uncle Billy.
Daddy!
Susu! Susu, my little ginger snap! How do you feel?
Fine, Daddy. Not a smidge of Templeton.
Not a smidge! Hallelujah!
George, darling.
Mary!
Look,
Mary, please, let me touch you. Oh, you're real!
you Kevin.
You have no idea what's happened to me.
Oh, George, you have no idea what's happening either. Come on, George, quick, they're on their way.
Who's on their way? The police department? The FBI? The National Guard? I'm alive again, Mary! No, listen! No, I'm alive again, Mary!
Come on in here now.
All
Now
right.
you stand right over there, right by the Christmas tree.
Okay.
Now stand right there. Don't move.
I'm okay.
Come on, George, it's in here. Go. It's in there. Go. Come in, Uncle Belly. Everybody in here.
Oh my gosh! Isn't that wonderful? Mary did it. George, Mary did it. She told a few people you're in trouble, and they all scattered all over town collecting money. They didn't ask any questions. Just said, if George is in trouble, you can count on me. You never saw anything like it. Oh my. You shouldn't have.
What is this, George? Another run on the main? Here you go. Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Blindfold's right here, Mr. Gower. Merry Christmas. Mr. Martini, step right up now.
I can't believe all those people are here. I busted into the box, too. Mr. Gower!
I've been drawing on all my charge accounts.
Oh, you violent bitch.
I'm not going to go, George. I've changed my mind.
Good for you.
I wouldn't have a roof over my head if it wasn't for you, George. Here you go, $242.
I've been saving this money for a divorce, if I ever get a husband.
Merry Christmas, George.
Merry Christmas, Mother.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas!
Just a minute. Quiet. Everybody, quiet. A telegram from London.
Oh, London?
Mr. Gower, you need cash, sir. My office has instructed you to advance up to $25,000. Stop. Yeehaw, and Merry Christmas, Sam Wainwright.
Oh, you are sick. God bless you. Wait on.
Hello, George. How are you?
Harry!
Well, Mary, looks like I got you a bit too late.
Mary, I got here from the airport as quickly as I could. The food flew all the way up here in a blizzard.
Oh, you're
How about your rank?
Oh, I left right in the middle of it as soon as I got Mary's telegram.
How about some wine?
Ah!
A good idea. A toast to my big brother George, the richest man in town.
And see, forgot, and never brought to mind. Should all acquaintance be forgot, and days of old be signed.
What's this book, George?
Tom Sawyer.
Look, there's an inscription.
George, remember, no man is a failure who has friends. Thanks for the wings. Love, Clarence.
What's that?
That's a Christmas present from a very dear friend of mine.
Look, Daddy. Every time I'm going, his teacher says an angel gets his wings.
That's right. That's right. Attaboy, Clarence.
Duck's toilet paper. Please stay tuned for a program of popular holiday music. This is Helen Marlowe signing out for WBFR in New York City.